Hi, everybody. It's Stacey Sobel. I'm back with Salon Today Conversation, and today we have Bryan Nunes, also known as the Hairy Fairy. Hi, Bryan.
Hello.
And you've got to explain the visual behind you because we're seeing double.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, here, let me help. Let me do a little bit. Is that
There you go.
I
And
figured
that
I'd bring
helps
it.
us match up the images a little bit.
Well, we talked about me continuing to dress as the hairy fairy, but my hairdresser, my wardrobe people were respecting social distancing. They couldn't make it over to make it happen, so I thought that I'd put this in the background. And
And I guess, and you said your kids had some fun with your costume and kind of destroyed it. So,
oh yes, all of the sequins that you see in that dress are now no longer.
so you did a philanthropic event this week, and and you had to shift your plans because of coronavirus. But tell us a little bit about what you do every spring and how you made this one different.
Well, originally we started, 13 years ago with a 24-hour cut-a-thon called Snip Snip Give, and we did the 24-hour hook to kind of give the media a reason to come out and cover it. And then, after about our third year, people started to ask, well, I don't know if I want somebody cutting my hair that's been up for 23 hours. So we stopped doing the 24-hour thing, and we started adding color services. So we were just doing cuts. Then we added color. And this year, it's been enormously successful over the year. We've raised over $250,000 in the 10 or 11 years that we've done it. We were booked about 70% for our event on April 5th, and all of them are prepaid appointments. And, it got canceled. And so we were going to we're still going to honor those appointments because everybody gets a 10% discount. So we're going to honor them when they come back. But, the money won't go to the charity because the hairdressers are just in a situation where they can't be doing free hair right now. So, anyways, we saw, when this first all happened, there was a lot of, understandably, there's a lot of reactions, and panic, and people they want a sense of control. And so, they come up with ideas, I love the creativity and the ingenuity of the industry. And we just we just sort of sat back and watched it all sort of unfold and didn't react. And then we got to a point where we're like, hey, we're going on 45 days here. People are eventually going to create their own solutions.
Right.
And we've all seen enough hair gone bad videos. And when you combine that with having to get all of these people in when this is all over, we can't be doing color corrections there. And so we wanted to give people an alternative. And our values are, and I respect everyone else's, there's no judgment here, but our values are, we just didn't want to sell it. So we decided to give it away. And we did a social media post, and we sent, sorry, that's my grandfather clock, my grandmother. Uh, uh, that's on the hour too. So we're going to hear a couple of chimes here. Sorry about that. The interest was significant, and we ran a report in our salon, our software, of everybody that had a single process color application between January 1 and March 15th. And we sent them all an email. It was 1,200 emails. And within 19 minutes, we had 600 replies.
Wow.
Of people that wanted to take advantage of the offer. And so, with that kind of volume, it was a no-brainer to add a suggested donation to it. We didn't have that plan at first. Originally, we were just going to give it away. But then we said, your hair color is free, but there's a suggested donation. And, people just, incredibly generous. We had people dropping $500 checks off. So, it took off from there. And then the first day was Thursday, and it was a great day. And then Friday we showed up. We did it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we're doing it this coming Friday and Saturday for a total of 500 kits. So, and I found this material throughout the internet. We can talk about that in a second if you like, if other salons are interested, because I know there's a cost involved per kit that a lot of people are curious about. when I came in Friday morning to do it, we knew that the news was coming that morning, but the Hairy Fairy it was invented that morning. And so Adrian, one of the girls that works for me, she said, we have an idea for you, but you're not going to like it. I said, what is it? And they said, we think you should be the Hairy Fairy. And I was like, well, I don't have a Hairy Fairy costume. And she said, well, Target's right around the corner. So she said, give me $50 and I'll take care of that. And so they came back and, the rest is history. So, but it's definitely stuck. I have people commenting on, we were on the news and on these Facebook pages and stuff from people that I went to college with, that are, So I am definitely known amongst my college peers now as the Hairy Fairy.
Is the Hairy Fairy. Yes. So what charity do you give away to, and does that change every year?
It does change every year. So the staff ultimately decides, it's a democratic process where we'll have the charity come out if they want to do a presentation at the salon. And then I put a box in the office with a paper clip next to everybody's name on a sheet of paper. They come in the office by themselves, pull the paper clip out and put it in the box of the charity that they want. And then I open all the boxes, count it in front of somebody so that it's completely complete democracy. There's no favoritism and there's no louder voices that can influence quieter voices because everybody votes on their own. And so that's how we do that. And, but this particular event, like how this all came up is I just decided for the No Kids Hungry NC.org. I've got 5 of them myself. And I know there's a lot of children in the state of North Carolina and in many states that are relying on school lunches for their food for the day. And when you see all this food being thrown away, it's just heart-wrenching. So it just seemed like a no-brainer.
And so what was in the kit that you put together?
I found an angled color brush for 67 cents. Nothing.
Wow.
I ordered vitalitymedical.com. So we already do business with them. So we ordered a bunch of gloves. We donated what we didn't use to Rex Hospital down the road. But they're super cheap, the medical surgical gloves, the blue ones. So a pair of those, a blow pop. So think salad dressing to go, those little
containers.
The little containers. And so we put and they're next to nothing as well. I think the most expensive part of the bag was the actual retail bag because, you want your company's logo on it. So we have a little tissue paper in the bag itself. And so we mixed the developer. Well, we didn't mix anything. We put the developer in one, color in another, and we only gave away enough to do the hairline, and maybe a part crown kind of thing. It was less than half an ounce of color, half an ounce to 0.75 ounces. It just depends on the client. Certainly not enough for an entire color application. When you give people a lot of color, they end up painting their hair like a garage door. You know what I mean? So we wanted to avoid that. We figured if we just gave them a little bit, they would be a little bit more apt to, do it properly. And then what we did was we had a couple of stylists, Hannah, one in particular, who posted a story on our Instagram and made herself available for FaceTime calls. And so you just DM'd her, a couple other designers, you DM them, they'll FaceTime with you rather than us create a tutorial or send somebody to a tutorial. And we posted a bunch of those on our Facebook page. It was pretty amazing. We had a couple of clients that the husband got roped in to doing the application and there was a little bit left. So she turned around and painted his goatee. But it was a real unifying experience. There was a lot of peripheral consequences that were warm and just wonderfully uniting for everybody.
So you were also, you expressed to me you were delighted that your team came out to support this too, because they're all furloughed or laid off right now. So
yeah, we had everybody's got it in the back of their mind, don't they? The social distancing and if you watch the news, it's like anything else. You can get super paranoid. Not to say that you shouldn't be, but when you watch the news over and over, I think you can, you may never leave the house even when this is over, kind of thing. But I think once everybody saw the Harry Ferry, the next day we had 11 ferries showed up and kids were there. My daughter Frankie was there, and a couple of other girls brought their kids, and we were handing out blow pops. And what surprised me about it was how much people miss the lives that they're, I don't want to say barred from, but temporarily don't have access to.
Right.
And so, they pull up in their car, and there's this sort of this moment of, hey, you're okay, I'm okay, kind of thing. And it's so good to see you, and thanks for this, and here's this, and bye-bye, be safe. And it's just sort of this, it's so nice to feel like connected, and so that was just wonderful. And since I got to hand it to people, a lot of people brought their kids in the back seat or brought their dog. Nikita, first day we had a bunch of dogs, so one of my stylists brought dog treats, and the next day we were handing out dog treats. And there's a hotel that's being built behind the salon, and the crane operator, we're talking about these massive cranes that they pay thousands of dollars to rent a day. This one's 350 feet in the air. He saw the news trucks while he was operating the train and came down after his shift and came over and to see what we were doing, and gave us $20. So I think there was another man that was walking his dog through the shopping center because there's nobody there. It's safe to walk through the shopping center in the streets with the dogs. And under normal circumstances, anybody walking their dog, we'd walk right by each other with our heads down, kind of thing. But in this world, in today's world, he stopped and talked, and the windows of the salon go all the way down to the street. And so one of my stylists had her little girl there who, she can't be a little over a year, maybe 2. And she's standing there at the glass with her hands on the windows. And he brings his German Shepherd up to the window. And so, there's this big German Shepherd and this little 2-year-old face to face with the glass between them, just sort of connecting and being human. So there was so many wonderful moments like that just wouldn't happen day to day. I feel really lucky to be a part of it. I feel really lucky to work with the people that I work with, because it's no small endeavor to create a system overnight to give away 500 free color kits and make sure everybody's safe and gets the right color, for crying out loud. I mean, can you imagine? And so, they pulled it off, and we're at just under 7,000 right now. And we've got 250 kits left this weekend. So what started out as just to get people by, something to get people by, we're going to raise $10,000 to feed hungry kids, which is, well, not to be cliche, but I'm blown away by that.
You should be blown away by that. So, I mean, you were talking about just the connection. I've noticed that in my neighborhood, just when I walk around with my dog. Usually people don't wave.
Yeah.
And now everybody that passes you waves, and you're like, you don't even know them, and they're like, hi, how you doing?
You're alive, me too.
Yeah, we're just like happy to see somebody other than our spouse for 10 minutes. So
it's so true.
But I think it's wonderful what you're doing. You did take some heat on social media about it, and as I know, and the whole color kit thing has been controversial. And at Salon Today, we haven't really figured out how to navigate it because a lot of people have chosen not to do it, but a lot of people are doing it and feel they need to do it to help their clients and also keep their businesses going as much as they can. So.
Here's what I would say about that. And I am not trying, it's already a polarizing topic without me. And we have our own values. We didn't want to sell it. Mm-hmm. And I know that there are salons out there that made that decision. I totally get it. I think it's important to know who you are and to be able to change without changing who you are. And so it's not like there's a book on how to do this. But I think there's one thing that everyone should consider keeping in mind here is that we're in the relationship business. You know, we get paid to build relationships and build rapport. And so people come back because of the rapport building. I don't want to minimize the importance of quality work. I understand the importance of good quality work. But, you know, hairdressers before, I can remember hearing Gino Stampora 25 years ago tell me a story, and he probably still tells the same story where, you know, he had a client that said, you know, Gino, if you could just get the haircut from here to here, I'll come back forever. And so the point that he's trying to make in telling that story is it's not that the work isn't important, but what really connects you to people is the relationship. And I think when you're judging, it clouds your ability to think and operate within your own values. So I would encourage people not to focus on what other people are doing and just focus on what you need to do to build and maintain the rapport with your guests and your team and your community, your husbands, your wives, your kids. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about what other people are doing.
I have heard Gino tell that story more than once. So.
Yeah, it's true.
That's right. You know, speaking from a non-technically trained person who is a client, I don't know the difference between a lot of things that I know are technically accurate or not.
Yeah.
I just know how I feel when I leave the chair.
Yeah.
And what my connection with that person is. And
yeah.
how I feel when I look in the mirror about myself, whether it's technically accurate or not, you know, how do I feel? And how do I feel about the person that did it for me? So
I can tell you that I've not had one client or one hairdresser bark at that works at Blow or that comes to Blow, say anything but positive and how much they appreciate what we're doing. And I'll add this, because at Blow, we're fortunate to have some reserves and to be able to, weather this storm so far anyways. I mean, I don't know how long this is going to go on. And luckily our hairdressers are all appear to be okay financially. With that said, clients that pull up to grab their kit, Stacy, I would say, you know, 30% would probably be a low guess, would say, can I also give some money to the hairdresser? Can I give you guys money? Can I pay for some services, or can I buy gift cards? And you know, our answer, I mean, we're good. I don't accept that stuff. If you need a gift card, I'll sell it to you. But if you're buying a gift card to help a business that might not be able to reopen, I don't know if that's a good financial investment on your part. And so we don't sell those. And I'm not judging salons that do. You have to do what you have to do. I think what I notice is it's a way for people to show that they care. You know what I mean? It's a sense of control that they have that says, hey, I care about you and I care about this relationship. And this is the only way I know how to express this in this moment, is my concern for you. And we appreciate that, but we'd rather you put it in the fishbowl and let's feed some kids.
I think that's great. And I'm sure the organization you're doing for is going to feel very fortunate as well.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. I'm sure they will. Although I know that there's a lot of money going at them right now. So hopefully they'll do the right thing with it. I'm sure they will.
So I like the idea that you're only giving enough color to do the emergency areas.
Yeah.
And that gives you a little bit of control, and that they're going to come back and see you for the full service.
Before I got on here with you, I had a client who emailed and said, are you guys still giving those kits away? Can I get another one? I'd be happy to donate. And, you know, I mean, you know how it is with your kid. Like, if I let Frankie stay up till 9, she's going to ask until 9:15. If I let her stay up until 9:15, she's going to want 9:30. You know, clients they want as much as you'll give them. And I appreciate that. I'm not judging them, but we're only giving not one per client. Even if we don't sell all the kits, it's one per client.
So how did you keep it straight? The color formulas, did you mark their names on it? Did you?
So what we did was we had a spreadsheet for salons that want to do it. We put it in Pages, our numbers, which is an Apple product. You can use Excel. Put every number in with the client's phone number, the stylist's name, the day that they're coming, and their last known formula. Hairdressers know they don't always update the client's formula. And so we put the last known formula in there, and then we e-blasted it out to all the hairdressers for them to confirm, number one, whether the client was eligible, because we didn't want people who have decolorized hair showing up, or highlights. This isn't people that need glazes or toning or pull through or dimension or whatever you want to call it. They're not eligible. It's only for root color formulas in what we call the T-zone area. And so hairdressers were then responsible to respond back. If their client wasn't eligible, they were to email the client directly and blind copy me and our guest services manager, Shannon, so that we could clear their name from the spreadsheet and then fill it with somebody else. And then once we had all the names and the timing, when we went into the salon, all the bags were prepped with what goes in every bag. So everything except the color. And then we have 2 color stations at Blow. We had one hairdresser at each color station, and we did a whiteboard next to each color bar with the time columns for the time window that guests were coming. Mm-hmm. And then we put their name, formula, and any additional retail product that they added to their order on a Post-it and placed it in that time block. And so then the person mixing the color would mix the color, grab the Post-it, put the color in a bag and attach the Post-it to the bag, and then carry it to the staging area. And then when we took it to the client, we took the Post-it off. If there was a retail purchase, we placed it in a manila envelope, because what we did with the retail purchases, you don't pay now, you pay at your next visit. We're just giving the product out. And I know people are going to have opinions about that, but I've already paid for it. It's just sitting there on the shelf. So I'm not going to delay or draw out the transaction dealing with money. We'll worry about it later, kind of thing. But we want to make sure that they're accounted for. So we put them in that manila envelope. Those that didn't have a retail purchase, we simply pulled the yellow Post-it off and threw it in the trash so that the client didn't get their formula, because we just wanted them to get the color.
Right.
Yeah, but that's the way that we did it. So it was the traveling Post-it is the key.
Okay. So how much retail do you think you sold?
Oh gosh, I didn't even look at it. It's not a tremendous amount, but it's not nominal. You know, we didn't donate that though. We gave everybody a 15% discount. I mean, I don't know, a couple $1,000, maybe $1,000, which is maybe a lot for some and not a lot for others. You know, there were a couple of retail orders that I was like, she better come back. You know, that's right. That's right. But again, I've had a couple of salons reach out to me, several actually, about this and want to know the costs that are involved and how are we able to do it. And here's how I would answer that. What would it cost you if you wanted to build this type of rapport and relationship with your guests? How much would you have to invest? And, you know, what would you be willing to invest? Because I can tell you what we're doing for guests, and in turn, what they're giving us by helping us connect with them a little bit. And then the other thing is, what are the costs involved in you not being able to get as many clients in because they've jacked up their own hair? So to me, I just don't look at the money. I never have. You know, I focus more on the relationships. And so when you're asking yourself, you know, can I afford to do this? My guess is that for you to we got 2 minutes and 13 seconds on a news, on the evening news, which I don't know what that would cost. You'd know more than me, but that would cost a lot of money. And so
Yeah.
they wouldn't have shown up if we were doing it to make money. They showed up because we were giving it away. And so, keep that in mind.
And I think, in this time when everybody's sheltered in place and lonely, I think that moment of connection is something they're going to remember for years.
I couldn't agree more. And I wasn't anticipating that, but I agree with you 1,000%. And the team also, I mean, the girls that were there, everybody who participates in Snip Snip Give every year, it's always a unifying event. And, we raise tens of thousands of dollars every year in one day of service. And it always unites people. It's a rite of passage at Blow. This is very similar. The people that showed up, the day after we got covered on the news, when all the fairy costumes showed up, it was pouring down rain. And Lindsay brought a bubble machine. We had Bippity Boppity Boo playing out there. That kind of unifying experience, you can't purchase it, And let's face it, I don't care how good you are at what you do, it can get boring, And so it was kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was a great idea. I definitely chuckled when I saw your news clip, and it made my night when I saw it. So thank you for sharing the story, and I hope that we're all back in the salon soon.
Yeah, be safe. Thanks, Stacey. It's good to see you.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
I like seeing double.
Here, let me give you
a good send off.